15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and my schedule can get a little hectic. From softball practices to going to class, traveling for games, spending time with family, and catching up with friends, I am always on the go. I want a bank that can help me from anywhere, but also be there when I need them. That's Midwest Bank. They have the same mobile banking technology as those big banks, but have that hometown feel that I like every time I walk through the doors. They make banking easy no matter where I am. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
Join Main Street Beatrice for their annual Beer, Wine, and Spirits Festival on Saturday, May 3rd from 4 to 8 p.m. with VIP entrance at 3 p.m. Enjoy an afternoon of live music and unlimited tastings of Nebraska beer, wine, and spirits at Envision Landscapes and Garden Center. There's something for all palates, and you only pay your entry fee. Food and snacks are available for purchase at the event, as well as off-sale beer, wine, and spirits from vendors. Tickets are only $25 ahead of time or $30 at the door. This fun day is for adults 21 and over only. Buy your tickets at mainstreetbeatrice.org or on the Main Street Beatrice Facebook page today.
This is On the Block with Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet Eric Strickland. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman. Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Welcome to it. Another week of On the Block starts now. Austin Orman, Jay Foreman, Eric Strickland with you. Weekdays 3 to 5 here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Let's go around the horn, bring people in. Jay Foreman, what's going on?
What's happening?
How was the coaching weekend?
It was all good, man. I was inundated by the draft talk.
Your head in the game? Or
No,
you consumed by the draft?
I wasn't consumed by the draft. I stopped watching.
Why
You
was
lost
that?
a little bit of credibility this weekend.
It lost credibility.
That's a little credibility this weekend.
I need to understand that. I need to understand that comment. How did it lose credibility?
How?
It was 200,000 people there. How did it lose credibility? Was it the commentators? Was it the owners?
The people being there. That's different than the credibility of a draft. Like them, love them, or hate them, Shedeur Sanders going 5th round to Cleveland makes you lose credibility. That'd be essentially saying, in basketball terms,
Nikola Jokic dropped to the 46th overall pick. Not quite.
but okay, that's a great point. If Jokic had done what he's doing now, equivalently in college, and it'd be like, oh well, his brothers are Russian, they got in trouble, they get in a little something like that. Now it's not apples to apples, but something like that. And the draft is a unique process, and talent. When you have overwhelming talent, you will be tolerant. But I'll push back on that because you have recent apples to apples examples of, quite frankly, the talent shouldn't have met the tolerance. Now, granted, not a lot of teams needed a quarterback. We're thirsty for a quarterback. I'll say that, right? So then that played into it, and then
so you only had 2 runs really in the first round.
Just the quarterback play is so bad at the NFL that average is thought of as good, and people got contracts and stuff like that. But so that there was the ability to slide there. But then when you start hearing the excuses, once I heard they said he can't play for nobody but his dad, I knew he wasn't going 1st round.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's plenty, and this is a honest viewpoint of it. Not these dudes that be on here earlier in the day that got personal issues and stuff like that where they don't like somebody. This isn't about, like, Deion has some fault in it. Shador has fault in it. But the majority of fault in it is the people that didn't or did make the decision and how the whole process is. That's where the fault lies. Because here's an example. Johnny Manziel still went first round, right? And he won the Heisman, so you can get in. Okay, he won the Heisman. Okay, you can get in and all that. Well, if you had any common sense, you knew what that dude was doing off the field.
That's a fact.
The NFL knows everything.
That's a fact.
College coach might not know anything. The NFL knows everything. He still went first round. Fair enough, right? Mm-hmm. He was doing the money signs and all that. This is before social media. So don't tell me that the whole Shador being confident or cocky or arrogant or whatever, that's a problem, because it was okay for it. Now, granted, just now he just went to Cleveland. Cleveland's like, all right, we made our, hey, we've learned our lesson, but he still went first round.
Yeah, there's 4 quarterbacks in Cleveland, bro. Like, how does that work?
5.
That's that. So
Deshaun Watson.
How is that going to work?
Joe Flacco.
It's going to work. Hold on.
And the 2 picks.
This isn't done. This isn't done. Then on the same factor that, and I'm a fan of Baker Mayfield. If you watch Baker Mayfield's antics when he played, now it's perceived as leadership. It's the same thing. It's just however you want to see it, and whoever's doing it and how you want to perceive it. And I could go into examples. I mean, Aaron Hernandez.
Did Baker Mayfield go to combine? I'm just and I'm not coming against what you're saying. I'm just asking.
Hold on. I will tell you this. It is, first of all, I used to scout, so I know it is factual. If you're a quarterback, it's actually a negative to throw at the combine.
Is it? Yeah. Okay.
You could hurt yourself.
But it didn't hurt Tyler Shaw, because he threw horribly and got drafted in the 3rd round.
You're just making my point.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I see your point.
Okay,
I'm not coming against you, because I do see some things where I'm like, huh?
Okay. And then I was
like, how you come to that conclusion?
Okay. And it's all about how you want to perceive it. And look, it is storylines. There is a reason things happen. Like, this is not, I'm not big into like, all the, like, the tinfoil hats, but it is this, the NFL is in entertainment now. You got to think that it is
in the charter, that it's entertainment, like WWE and all of that.
The story is, and Cam Ward fell for it. There's a little bit of Cam Ward that fell for it too, and it worked out for him. You pit the 0-star recruit that was a running quarterback in high school, actually was a basketball player.
Went from here
to here.
I'm all the way up,
right?
Mm-hmm.
And his dad's a factory worker and all that. And here's Deion. And then you got a lot of people that got a problem with Deion from where he played, waiting for the turn to get paid back. He knows he knows about them all. He knows everything about the NFL, and he's articulate. He's smart. He's business savvy, and he's marketable as far as Deion. And they loved Deion people loved Deion when he was at Jackson State. You know what I'm saying? You hate him out of Colorado because now he's up in there. Now you got to see him. This is just 100% factual trupe. So it's just,
and he turned the program around in 2 years.
And then now
you thought he was gonna fall on his slate. Like a lot of people really thought
they were hoping
he was going to fall on his face.
They were hoping it.
That's just true.
But it was just, you know what it was, is you're down to your last $10. Somebody loaned you $1,000. You got 2 kings, and you say, you know what, hit me, you get an ace, you end up doubling, and you win $1 million. It's like you hit the lottery with him. Colorado AD needed him. Deion needed a shot. It worked out, and now it's on steroids. Now, whether that's now what's going to continue, that's up in the air.
Yeah.
And so now you're judging Shador based on the product of NIL kids.
I think I'm going to throw this
really
out.
What it comes out to.
I'm going to throw this out before we get to the 4 quarterbacks. A lot of people, I'm not going to say even a lot. I'm going to say, there's word out there that's saying that people believe that he's peaked. That there's not another level. Like they understand and believe that he's a good quarterback. Some people believe that he's peaked, and this was a good way to risk adverse the peaking. So I know that those things exist, but I could also step outside of myself and look at the business side because here's what I think it's created. Hopefully, this is what I think you've hopefully created. One, you've created a worth ethic, a chip, and you've created this means by which this particular individual, if he hasn't peaked, you're not going to kill yourself or be killed. And then they are also on the line because they paid just because he went to Cleveland, but they've already paid this man crazy dollars. So you're going to get the benefit of the Shador hype on top of not having to really have paid him, because in 4 years, he won't even make what he would have made in his NIL deal 1 year. If he would have came back to Colorado, 6.5, I think was his valuation.
Yeah.
He's not going to make but barely over 5
throughout 4 years. Yeah.
So it's a drive, hopefully, to get him to, because now if he makes it, Jay, he earned it.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, bro, you're pushing the goal line for something.
No, I'm not saying I'm against you. I'm just saying on the business side, I can understand why they took
it. Value pick for Cleveland.
Yeah,
because they're getting, let's say worst case. Let's say one quarterback goes first round. That's fine. You're getting a second or third round quarterback. Realistically, when you watch the tape, just watching the tape, and you're getting them in the 5th round, you're making you won. Yeah. And then however they do the business side as far as the marketing and stuff, you have to.
He has a chance to start there too.
Yeah.
He has an opportunity.
It's a good spot for him.
It's a good spot for him.
Now it's a little bit different because they got Joe Flacco. They drafted a guy in the 3rd round. But here's what people.
How do you draft Dylan Gabriel as well in the 3rd round? Because you're gonna have to pay. That's different money in the 3rd round than it is in the 5th.
That don't mean nothing.
It doesn't mean nothing.
They just gave Deshaun Watson $200 million guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Every last cent.
Yeah, because I don't understand why you signed Dylan Gabriel and then come 2 rounds later and go with another quarterback when you need other things too.
Yeah, but it's
a wasted pick to me.
The Redskins at the time drafted Robert Griffin III and
Kirk Cousins.
And Kirk Cousins in the 4th round. They don't care. That's the thing. You gotta understand they don't care. And
the Cardinals took Josh Rosen and Kyler Murray. What, back-to-back years?
Yeah, but doing it in the same year is different because that was based on the head coaching change, and that's usually what happens. And that's where actually, if Cleveland would have drafted him in the 2nd, 3rd round, eggs on the face of the New York Giants and whoever went to the Giants, because most likely, if they don't have a good season, the GM and the head coach is gone. So then, therefore, you'd be a sitting duck, and then you're taking unnecessary arrows just by the business side of it. And then you look at, here's where I'll push back on your talent. Like Zach Wilson played good for 1 year at BYU. New York talked themselves into doing it. Okay. It's been here. You saw the 49ers essentially, now they're paying for it right now, give away their future for Trey Lance. And the last dude picked in the draft is the dude that they're still slowly but surely dragging their heels to give him a contract. So that lets you know the evaluation process is off. Mm-hmm. That lets you know it's personal and it has nothing to do with talent. Now, everybody can talk about collusion. It's not. You want to know why it's not collusion? They all think alike. Mm-hmm. So they don't even have to do it. They all know how to think.
They all have the same data. They all value the same.
No, it isn't. I'm talking about the dudes up there at the top that are on the team.
Oz, the Wizard of Oz.
Here's where Dion messed up. He tried to do he I don't even think he tried to do it. He was just very vocal about it. He voiced the same thing Archie and Eli and Peyton and them did at the dinner table. And so the owners are like, you ain't gonna tell us how to do business. You're embarrassing us because you're saying that where you want to go. That's not how it works. You are a commodity in the NFL. You are I guess whatever you want to get all like.
It's a Mercado thing. You can go in there. You can go in there and pick whatever kind of meat, whatever kind of cut.
Hey,
say what you will.
No,
it is what it is.
Here's the truth. You want to know the best thing that Zach Thomas told me when we were working out after my first year? I ran into him. Actually, big shout out to my man Daryl Porter Jr. He's going to Buffalo. That's my boy right there. Daryl Porter Sr. was my big homie, and he taught me how to be a pro. Son's going to Buffalo. So I was down there training. When Zach Thomas told me this, man, he was a late 5th round draft choice. I love this game. And, he went late because he
Texas Tech, right?
Yeah, 5'10" or whatever. Big
Neck's son got drafted this second. No, he was 3rd tight end, 4th tight end taken.
That was his former brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law, yeah. Right. Because his sister was married to Jason Taylor. Okay, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's not. We on subject here.
I'm just saying, my boy.
This is one thing. It's funny, man. We was kicking it, and he's like, you know what? He's like, look, when you come into the league, and I'll never forget this. Mike Singletary told us this too. We were all sitting together. He's like, you're a piece of meat. He's like, you're just a different type of meat when you come in. He's like, when you're pick number 1, you're the, like, I guess the Wagyu beef, you're the filet mignon, and like you're the 3rd or 5th round or the 2nd, 3rd, you like a T-bone steak, whatever. Or then you might
New York strip.
When you down at like the 5th, 7th, 6th round,
flank steak.
You the cube steak. You the tough ones.
If you're not ground beef already.
But here's the best thing. He's like, when you get done, you're just gonna be a ground up piece of meat, and that's the truth.
Yeah.
Because when you're done, you're gonna be broke down and all the other stuff.
Facts.
Now Shador's in a position that he can, sink or swim. Now whether he gets a realistic chance or not, I think if he goes in there and he's able to play good, if he goes in there and it approaches it the right way, he'll eventually be good. His ceiling and everything, he might get a little bit faster. He could probably get his arm stronger. The best thing that he's accurate. And if he plays to his attributes and Kevin Stefanski does, or whoever's they work with him, then he'll have a successful career.
Which of these draft picks fits what Kevin Stefanski likes to do better? Is it Gabriel or Sanders?
Probably Sanders, because he plays more like Kirk Cousins. And that's how Stefanski got the job.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why Deshaun Watson doesn't work. Because Deshaun Watson is more like Dylan Gabriel. It doesn't, like Deshaun Watson, when he was, listen, this is what people don't understand. Up until Deshaun Watson, I guess, got exposed or was doing what, getting like 85 million massages, which is
too many.
A whole nother conversation. He ran RPO down in Houston. And there was a point in time, if you go back, because he didn't have weapons. They said he was better than Patrick Mahomes because Patrick Mahomes had Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and always had that good number 3 in a better running game at one point in time. And then the offseason happened. But then he got traded to Cleveland, and Stefanski was in Minnesota with Kirk Cousins, right? And then he had the backup quarterback that did the Minneapolis Miracle, and he's kind of the same.
Keenum? Yeah.
Kind of the same, pocket pass, run enough and all that, on time, on target.
Well, they put him in a box in Cleveland.
Right. Well, then you're trying to take that Cam Newton and playing that type. It didn't work, or hasn't worked. It's shown some progress, but so Stefanski, from what I know, it seems like Shador was, but I think Dylan Gabriel is a capable quarterback. Here's the problem I have with Dylan Gabriel. When you're on record saying you don't want to play in cold weather, how the hell do you draft him in Cleveland?
Says the guy that didn't want to go to Green Bay or Buffalo.
Yeah. And I went to Buffalo, but I had played it. But you ain't never heard. I was saying this privately.
Again, dinner table versus.
Yeah. And the reason why
New York too.
But the reason why I didn't want to go to Green Bay and Buffalo was because I was thinking, all right, I'm going to, if I want to go to a bigger city. It wasn't because of the weather. That ain't bothering me because I already knew if you want to be in the NFL, you got to play in the cold. You know what I'm saying? So
that's why you came to Nebraska.
It was close.
No. So I'm going to throw this out and say, I think there's a couple of things that may have given people some pause. I still think he's a good quarterback. But I think there's a willingness for him to hold the ball a little bit too long because he wants to make the big play. He wants to be downfield. There's even him on record where because him and
Travis
no, your boy works out all the time.
Cam Ward.
And they always is talking, and you can hear the conversation. Whereas I think Cam may have an understanding of the dink, the dump. And I even think Brady probably tried to mentor him into understanding that part. And he has to have a willingness to read what's going on, to understand time, score, situation, to understand what they're trying to take away and what they're trying to give you.
Right.
And as you have a willingness, this is what's going to be the test. I'm not saying he's not capable. I'm saying this is what's going to be the test. Do you have a willingness to get the ball out of your hands quickly, to check down, because you take too many sacks at the collegiate level? This thing is only going to get worse because that time clock is going to be even a half a second faster about how you need to make a decision here.
Right.
Are you willing to throw that thing away, throw it out of bounds, drop it off, hit the tight end, bump the deep route because it's not for this one?
Yeah.
You know, that's what I think.
How many steps do you have on a deep route to determine if it's open or not? First 3, first 4?
It's based on coverage and who you throwing it to. Like Randy Moss, he's always open. But here's the difference. This is I'll push back on that.
Okay.
His best attribute is that. Cam's worst attribute is the opposite. If you go back and watch Miami, how they play, they'd be down 30 points. The reason why they'd be down 30 points, because he was trying to go deep. He is and this is the funny thing about the draft. In the middle part, I think it was Todd McShay and Mel Kiper. They were talking about, he's like, he gambles too much because he wants to go downfield. They're talking about Cam Ward, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the knock on Shador was he was throwing short passes, bubble screens, and his completion percentage is too high.
Okay.
That's what they said on TV. Now, sure, he took a lot of sacks. But you know who else took a lot of sacks? Caleb Williams, who took more sacks. Now, should he take as many sacks? No. But the offensive line that he played behind, and this is not making excuses, one, they use it against you and they use it for you. The one they'll tell you, you stood in the pocket and you tough, you took a lot of sacks. Then they say you hold the ball too long. Well, the talent level wasn't apples to apples. Now, he does need to probably be able to play more on time. But I'm going to tell you this, the honest to God truth. Every rookie quarterback does.
Yeah, it struggles. Yeah.
Everybody does. It's just a matter of, it came down to two things. Intimidation of the potential presence of Deion, and the talent level and tolerant level wasn't high enough to pick him. Or there wasn't enough teams that were willing to jump out there and do it. Mm-hmm. That's what it had to do with. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, he was made an example of. But I'm going to tell you this. For all you NIL kids out there, they're telling you right now, tight. Whatever you do at said college, nip it in the bud when you try to go to the pros. Because it's the truth. Because if you, like Nico, we talked about Nico out there at UCLA. Mm-hmm. This whole year, if he was smart, obviously the first thing he needs to do is play good. The biggest thing he's going to have to do is strategically and also factually knock down the things that hearing out of Tennessee. Mark my words, that will come out in the draft. He could go and do everything the complete opposite. They're going to still talk about that. About the transfer. Yeah. And the way and that's true. Wanting not to play in the college football playoffs. Mm-hmm. Potentially shaking down Tennessee or for money. Not showing up at places and or whatever that'll come back. Yeah, that is true. Damn. I mean, heck, they held QB1 against and I'm not a Spencer Rattler fan. Mm-hmm. Because if I was his teammate in high school, I would knock his head off the way he was talking to someone. But they used that against him, and he had went to South Carolina supposedly and changed. First of all, he changed the way he played, but then also they said he changed off the field as well. And they were talking about he was the best player there, and he slid to the 5th round.
Pause. What's real quick before we go out of here? What's your thoughts on why Quinn Ewers?
Oh, we're going to get to that.
Oh, are we?
That's on the rundown later.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just some popped into mind.
Yeah. Here's the real question: who starts game ones for the Browns?
Joe Flacco.
Pickett, Flacco, Gabriel Sanders.
Joe Flacco.
And
he gonna get
I say
off too.
Flacco, Sanders, Watson.
Watson's out for the year with the injury.
Oh, so he's done.
He gone.
So then Gabriel's third.
I don't think Shador plays. He either doesn't play this year or they put him in at the end.
I think Gabriel gets cut.
They can't cut a third rounder.
One of them's going to be on. One of them's going to be the third.
So
QB,
Kenny Pickett's gone,
and one of them's going to be on practice squad.
Yeah.
The problem is you're going to have to pay him like he's on the active roster to keep him on the practice squad.
So you're trading Kenny Pickett to someone who's
they'll keep three quarterbacks. Joe Flacco, Pickett, and one of them two.
Yeah. I think Shador is going to be second.
Eventually,
I think he'll be second. They've got to put Dylan in there second initially, and because of the that's just
contract,
the way the money goes. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Shador's just going to have to. He's going to really. I mean, in some
ways,
ways,
be humbling.
he ain't never gonna be home. Man,
I'm
got
just
like
gonna say it's
14,
gonna be a
20
humbling.
million.
It's gonna be a humbling.
He's gonna have to really find it, and it's weird because you're sitting up here telling somebody they got to do something they already done based on your perception that he's got to go out there and work hard. You don't become good at sports without working hard. It's humanly impossible. There's some guys that can show flashes and don't work hard.
They will get eclipsed or
eclipsed.
passed.
So
Yeah.
you don't get this.
If you don't work hard, your athletic abilities eventually is going to get passed up, depending on the levels of increase that you go up.
Right.
It's just if you're not working and you're not increasing or you're not expanding,
right. The biggest thing he has to do is humble himself and how he carries himself, because it's just a little bit too much, and it is. I've said it. When is enough too much? Now, okay, you're going from the kid league to the professional league, entertainment. So now it's about how perception. It's no different when David Stern changed the dress code. Remember, right? He came in, dropped the hammer in. So if you're not taking notes right now, and you're a college player, you're losing money.
Yeah,
there'll be somebody else.
Always is.
That'll have to, that'll do something dumb, or not dumb, but like come in with a whole bunch of.
But probably dumb.
Yeah, I mean, the bigger question is: do you think Caleb Williams, his demands? Because I mean, you got to think Caleb Williams said he wanted to own a part of the team. He's an active player. Is he that good?
Not yet. Not yet.
But he's more talented than Shedeur. That's my point.
Fair.
So it's fine right now, right?
Yeah.
Is that fair?
That's fair.
Yeah. Risk tolerance. That's what it's comes down to.
That's that's what I said. Risk averse.
Yeah.
Because whoever the GM and whoever the coach is,
or talent tolerance, I think.
They had to basically look at this to say, do I want to lose my job if I put this out on the first through third limb? Some are probably thinking that way.
Well, and that's where Deion,
self-preservation.
and that's where Deion needed to step in and say, listen, for these 6 months or 4 months, we need to tighten up. We got to tighten up. And really, to be honest with you, I'm saying it reluctantly because I think there's about 15 layers to it, and that's about 2.
13 layers to go.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll dissect them throughout the offseason.
Number 12 is the worst.
Oh,
that's
no.
the even number.
Jay Foreman is not like number 12. We learn things every day. Strick, Jay, Austin, we got Brian Munson of Husker Online talking some Husker football recruiting when we get back to On the Block.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of showers and storms mainly this afternoon. Otherwise, partly sunny and windy, the high around 87. Tonight, decreasing clouds, an overnight low near 46. Tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies with a light breeze, an afternoon high near 69. I'm meteorologist Kyle Putker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work?
Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and my schedule can get a little hectic. From softball practices to going to class, traveling for games, spending time with family, and catching up with friends, I am always on the go. I want a bank that can help me from anywhere, but also be there when I need them. That's Midwest Bank. They have the same mobile banking technology as those big banks, but have that hometown feel that I like every time I walk through the doors. They make banking easy no matter where I am. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
Big Brothers Big Sisters is bringing back Bowl for Kids' Sake. Create a team, raise donations, and join the bowling celebration at Sun Valley Lanes and Games on May 2nd. Every contribution helps to create and support one-to-one mentoring relationships for Lincoln's young people. Learn more and register today at bbbsmidlands.org under the Events tab. Big Brothers Big Sisters, igniting the power and promise of Lincoln's youth for over 50 years.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best they can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. Tailored Landscapes is on the brink of spring cleanups for all their existing customers, and they have limited spots available. They trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give Tailored Landscapes a call at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of their designers and stop by the Tailored Life store in Bennett.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Welcome back on the block. Austin Norman, Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman with you here 3 to 5 weekdays. We are headed to our Aloe Fiber VIP line where we are joined by Brian Munson of Husker Online. He's under the weather, but we're over the moon to talk to him. Brian, thanks for hanging in there with us, man. Hope you get feeling better soon. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, buddy.
Good deal. Let's dive into recruiting, your specialty there for Husker Online. Obviously, the Husker games were just a couple days ago on Saturday. Not the same recruiting event for Nebraska that it has been, but despite that, did Nebraska have anyone, besides Trey Taylor in the building for this event? And how did that go for the Huskers?
Yeah, there were a few visitors. I mean, 2026 guys, it was pretty limited. You had Dayton Raiola that was back in town, and he gave a pretty good update about, his thoughts on Husker games and the event as a whole and what he was kind of busy doing. And it was, he talked to Trey Taylor, he talked to Zane Rowe, another 4-star kid from Texas, 2027 guy. Talked to a couple offensive linemen, but also Jordan Campbell was there. He was a 4-star linebacker committed to Miami, visited Nebraska in February. Probably arguably the top linebacker for Nebraska, on their board. And he's been a commitment to Miami since November of 2023. So it's been a while. And he's getting a little bit closer, I think, to figuring out if Nebraska is going to get an official visit from him. And I would say at the moment, I think that it's probably a pretty good guess that he is going to take an official visit to Nebraska later on this summer. And then, like you mentioned, Trey Taylor was kind of the top guy there from the 2027 group. Kind of surprised some folks, right? When we've been talking about it, he was going through all the visits in March and April. He's telling schools, this is the last time I'm going to be here. Well, he showed up in Lincoln, I think on Thursday, and was there through Saturday. He has in-home visits or in-school visits, I think, with Illinois and LSU coming this week. And then he's pretty much down to, 4 schools, and it's going to be an announcement on May 1st. So his process is coming to an end here very, very quickly. But then, you had a whole slug of 4-star guys, and I got a bunch of updates to come. It's just as you can tell, you can hear my voice, not feeling the greatest. So I mentioned before Zane Rowe from Little Elm, Texas, actually from Denton Geyer, 4-star edge guy Isaiah Rogers, 4-star running back from Massachusetts. Zane and Isaiah were with Dayton a lot this weekend. So that's something to kind of keep an eye on right there. We had Samaj Stanford that was in. Samaj Stanford is notable because, where he's at in Jenks, Oklahoma, he was actually Jamar Mosey's first offer from coming over to UCF, from UCF. So that right there has been like kind of the guy that I've remembered to see like how that one's going to kind of finish up right there, because I think Samaj remembers that Coach Mosey, thought of him first when he got there. But then you had like Marshawn Ivy from Cardinal Ritter College Prep, Reese Russell, big offensive lineman from Valor Christian, Tristan Dare, kid down here by me, interior offensive lineman from South Lake Carroll, and he had a cornerback from Broken Arrow. So I've got updates literally to come on all these guys except for Marshawn Ivy, and Samaj Stanford. So there's probably 7 or 8 updates I'm sitting on right now. I'm just trying to get the energy up to kind of get them out there for the readers.
That's Brian Munson of Husker Online Heat. We're talking with him here during On the Block. Let's stick on Trey Taylor for a minute here, Brian. Yeah. Are the Huskers moving up his board? Do we have an indication of where the Huskers sit? What have the Huskers been doing to make their push for the talented 2027 signal caller?
Yeah, it's interesting because, like I said, he took this visit. It was kind of a late thrown together thing, and his dad admitted, and I put it in the article that I ran on Saturday night on him. It was, this was a business trip. There was a business aspect to the trip, and it was something that they had to they felt like they had to get it finalized. They were going to go ahead and see Illinois and LSU later in the week. So that was something that they feel like they could go ahead and get it worked out, like with those schools. I have long since touted Nebraska to be in Trey Taylor's top 2. And I still feel like that is the case. I think LSU is really the other school to kind of be careful with there. I know some people would probably disagree with me a little bit on that, but I do feel like that's the other main competition for Nebraska here. I think the sneaky one to kind of remember is going to be Illinois. That's the home state school. So they're not going to go down without a fight, and the other one there is Texas A&M. And A&M, I mean, Nebraska fans have obviously got to be rolling their eyes right there, knowing, what's kind of going on with Trev Alberts and such. But, we're going to find out on Thursday afternoon, 3:30 Central. I think Nebraska's chances here, I think I'm the only one that has put in a prediction for him to Nebraska on our network, or a prediction at all on our network. So I still feel good for Nebraska here, and unless some things change here in the coming days.
What does Nebraska like about Trey Taylor's game compared to its other 2, quarterback commits for the next couple of years in TJ Lateef, who we saw at the Husker games on Saturday, and Dayton Raiola? How does Trey Taylor compare to those guys?
Yeah, Trey is a very mature individual. He's obviously the son of a former player, so he's been prepped. He's been brought up and prepared properly to kind of be that coaching, staff extension, on the football field. And that kind of goes back to the maturity aspect of it. But I think also there's just the coaching. It's kind of when the quarterback position kind of becomes second nature, when you have those physical tools and those talents, and the game slows down, so much, and they can kind of just sit there and sit back and process it and know where it's supposed to be. That's when, people kind of refer to players as having it. And Trey Taylor has it, the ability to kind of have the game kind of slow down, and he is ahead because he has got those physical tools, because he understands what he's looking at in terms of coverage. He's kind of that complete player, right? I mean, he's I think probably people would knock him because they maybe want a 6'4" guy or whatever. But flip on the film, particularly like what he was doing, I think on Saturday or Sunday this weekend, right after he left Lincoln. I mean, kid was putting in work again this weekend. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens on Thursday.
You also mentioned Dayton Raiola, right? Having a lot of connection with the 2026s who were in town. How does Dayton's peer recruiting compare to his older brother Dylan's? Is there a same level of, charisma and magnetism for Dayton, despite not being, a contender for the number 1 overall recruit in the class? How does Dayton's peer recruiting look compared to Dylan's?
Yeah, I think that it's similar. I mean, obviously you don't have that kind of number 1 5-star quarterback kind of thing hanging around Dayton's neck like what Dylan had. But I think when you get down to like personality, you get down to likable, funny, relatable, accommodating, he's kind of had this like, ambassador type of role, honestly, because he's got this Nebraska royalty last name. Dad played there, in basically jersey retired or name retired, and brother is a starting quarterback there for Nebraska now. He has not disappointed or let down that role. He's seen that as an opportunity, and he's been very much playing that part, like with Ryan Mosley, the big time athlete out of Carrollton, Georgia. He's been working all of the tight ends that basically are going to be coming in that same weekend as he, the last weekend in June for an official visit. So he's very much been involved. I think some people would say, well, you're just not going to take as seriously, or it's not as important not coming from a 5-star. I think the last name kind of helps transcend that, and it still drives the importance because he's still the quarterback in the class, and his brother is still the starting quarterback right now. And obviously they got all that tradition, and Donovan's obviously a coach there as well. So it is absolutely a family affair, but Dayton is not taking a backseat to that at all. He has stepped up and played his role.
The Husker games are over, which means spring practice has come to an end. Brian, what does the recruiting calendar look like for Nebraska as we get into the month of May?
Yeah, the month of May is going to be fairly quiet, right? It's not going to be a time like where we're going to see visitors and stuff like that. That's going to start back up again in June. You're going to have some summer camps kicking back up again. You're going to have your official visitors kicking off that first weekend in June. You could see possibly like a midweek guy. We've seen some guys already that have, they're sitting on 6 official visits, and they're still talking about, wanting to see Nebraska. And if they're going to see Nebraska, they're going to have to get in there for a midweek kind of visit. So we'll have to see how that goes. But I anticipate a quiet month of May, and then everything kind of starts back up there in the month of June. And you're going to have summer camps, and you're going to have official visits. A lot of these players too, which is interesting too. This is going to be something to kind of keep an eye on. A lot of these guys are being asked to kind of come back, for camps, the 2027s. And there's been a lot of positive, kind of things that come back like, hey, my return visit is going to be a summer camp. So there's a really nice group of athletes that are talking about getting back to like in the summer for their return trip, and it's going to be for a summer camp. So something to keep kind of an eye on, because sometimes those summer camps haven't really drawn the type of quality. The quarterbacks, I think, definitely, but maybe not necessarily skill position guys, and maybe not necessarily offensive linemen. But I think that they're making up for that this year.
We will certainly keep our eye on it. Thanks to you. That's Brian Munson of Husker Online. Definitely check out his work there, huskeronline.com. Give him a follow on Twitter for updates at Brian Munson _. B Munson, get to feeling better, my friend. Thanks for taking some time. We'll catch up again soon.
Thanks a lot, buddy. I'll talk to you next week.
That's Brian Munson again of Husker Online joining us on our VIP line, brought to you by Allo Fiber, which is where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We'll take our second break of the first hour, bring in the Husker Hall of Famers, chat some preseason top 25s. Is Nebraska making an appearance in any of them? We'll see what other people are having to say. One more segment for our one of On the Block in a sec.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Join Main Street Beatrice for their annual Beer, Wine, and Spirits Festival on Saturday, May 3rd from 4 to 8 p.m. with VIP entrance at 3 p.m. Enjoy an afternoon of live music and unlimited tastings of Nebraska beer, wine, and spirits at Envision Landscapes and Garden Center. There's something for all palates, and you only pay your entry fee. Food and snacks are available for purchase at the event, as well as off-sale beer, wine, and spirits from vendors. Tickets are only $25 ahead of time or $30 at the door. This fun day is for adults 21 and over only. Buy your tickets at mainstreetbeatrice.org or on the Main Street Beatrice Facebook page today.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and my schedule can get a little hectic. From softball practices to going to class, traveling for games, spending time with family, and catching up with friends, I am always on the go. I want a bank that can help me from anywhere, but also be there when I need them. That's Midwest Bank. They have the same mobile banking technology as those big banks, but have that hometown feel that I like every time I walk through the doors. They make banking easy no matter where I am. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at cobblecars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G187747, and G196599.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
Big Brothers Big Sisters is bringing back Bowl for Kids' Sake. Create a team, raise donations, and join the bowling celebration at Sun Valley Lanes and Games on May 2nd. Every contribution helps to create and support one-to-one mentoring relationships for Lincoln's young people. Learn more and register today at bbbsmidlands.org under the Events tab. Big Brothers Big Sisters, igniting the power and promise of Lincoln's youth for over 50 years.
Fight fans, May 3rd, Dynasty Combat Sports hosts the first bare-knuckle boxing bout ever at Pinnacle Bank Arena, pitting Lincoln's Tower Robinson against McCook's Thomas Thatcher. Additionally, MMA bouts will see champion Nate Morrow battle Nebraska City's Brett Minner. University of Nebraska wrestler Tyler Berger makes his pro MMA debut, and Hunter Green takes on Husham Zadow for the amateur featherweight title. Also, professionals Brady Minner, Sean Lindgren, Justin Weaver, and the debut of another Nebraska wrestler, Bubba Wilson. 16 fights are scheduled Saturday, May 3rd at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Fight cards subject to change. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or at the Pinnacle Bank Arena box office.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Wrapping up hour one of On the Block. Austin Norman, Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman with you. Just heard Nick telling you about Dynasty Combat Sports. We got 20 tickets available. If you want to head down to PBA, watch Fight Night on whether it be May the 3rd, we got some tickets for you here. Yeah, May 3rd, 7:30. Doors open at 6:30. We got tickets for you. Let me know how many you want. It'll be first come, first serve to watch some Dynasty Combat Sports. 402-464-5685. Stricky, you sent us something during break here. One outlet's preseason top 25 poll. Number 1, it features Nebraska, all the way down at number 22. Nebraska would be ahead of Iowa, Louisville, and Iowa State. What stood out to me, though, was preseason number 1 and number 2, Texas and Notre Dame. Stricky, what do you think about that?
I like Texas Notre Dame. I think it's cool. I think it's good. I think actually I look at that, I'm disappointed because of Nebraska. And Nebraska pulling out of the Tennessee one. Was it Tennessee?
Those two teams are ranked back-to-back in this preseason poll.
Yeah, but that's a years down the road.
Well, I'm just saying. I like when people or teams are willing to I'm saying it from the standpoint of that. I like it when teams are willing to step out there and see who's him. You know what I'm saying? Like there's something that I can't stand. Let me just put it back on me, and I'll be brief because I know the time's short. I want Jay to get in. But I didn't shuck the best of who I was going to have to face. If we're going to play Michigan State, I want Sean Respert. I want him. If we're going to play Oklahoma State, I want Brooks Thompson. I want him. When we played Jordan, I said, I want him.
All right, Coach, fine.
Yeah, I take the challenge. You know what I mean? I'm willing. You know, I didn't shuck the matchups, right? I don't like boxers that run from the matchup of who's the best. That's one of the things I didn't like about Mayweather in a lot of ways. You know, for a while he would shuck, and then he would fight. You know, Manny Pacquiao was dang near on the way out by the time they got together. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not against him. I still think he's a great fighter. He's one of the best defensive fighters out there. But I can't stand that when you shuck, you know, the competition. So I like that when they're going to take it, they're going to face each other. I think it's cool. And and that's what I say that's what's disappointing for me why we bowed out of that one. So there.
I could see Texas being number 1 because of the talent.
Is it because the quarterback?
And I was just about to say because the quarterback coming. Notre Dame's a little bit harder for me, considering they lost their quarterback
and a right guard.
Lost the right guard. Lost Xavier Watts. Big shout out to him. Lost their corner. Lost their linebacker. Always going to have a good offensive line. I think the running back's coming back. So number 2 is a little bit too
a little too rich.
Because we're talking about the spring.
Yeah.
But I would put Penn State there.
In number 2?
Yeah,
as much as you don't believe in him.
No,
I would put Penn State there.
Yeah, preseason I would have to say Penn State. Number 1, they got the quarterback coming back who made some strides last year. You got both your running backs coming back, and you had a young group of receivers.
And your defense is always hot.
And they always
Coach Jim Knowles.
Yeah.
So I think it's.
Are you really believing though? You like Manning? You like Arch Manning?
Arch is good.
Yeah. All right.
You think he's going to lead him to a number one though?
No.
That's why I don't think that fits. But go ahead.
But I think the bigger thing is like, which is good, is that Nebraska's in there. I'm telling you, I'm with strict old school me. Bring it on. I like the bigger games the best because I want to beat you. I want to beat the best because I don't want no question. Bring them on.
I know y'all wanted that Michigan. I know y'all was like.
And that's fine, but right now, in the business part of it, in the business is getting into the dance, which is the college football playoff. It doesn't make sense to play Tennessee, and so I'm saying both ways. Me, if I was a player, I wouldn't know any different because I wanted to play the best. When we were here, that's what we just did, and college football was different because you had to. But I think also a big part of making it into the college football playoffs is, unless you're now, Indiana's a little bit of the outlier. But starting ranked is huge for me. I think to make it, because if you get off to a hot start, you make noise, you go up, and then if you say you beat another ranked team or two, now you have a little bit of, I call it the off week game, or dookie down your leg game in your back pocket. You got a little bit of
wiggle room,
right? It's like in baseball. You start out real hot in baseball, and then you go through like a little slump, but then you can bounce back. That's why I like being ranked. Whereas I felt like now Indiana was able to go the whole time, but say you aren't ranked and you have a harder schedule than Indiana, you're the same team, and then say you play. I know they didn't play Notre Dame in the regular season, but say you play Notre Dame in like the 6th or 7th game, and you lose and you start unranked, versus playing them in the end of the season, or when they played Michigan. You know what I mean? Where they took their first loss. Say as Ohio State. Say they play Ohio State week 6 or 7, versus towards the end of the season. They've built up that fanfare and that momentum up there, and had plenty of stuff in their back pocket. They did. They played us when we were ranked, and and all that. So I like that Nebraska. Well, I know this is not official, but I like that they're ranked, somewhere. So now they can kind of, okay, this is where we can go if it held true whenever the season started.
Where do you see, where do you see in the Big Ten? How many of the Big Ten? Top 3? So in essence, you're saying the big top 3.
Outlet, you have Penn State, Ohio State, Oregon, Illinois.
You don't get
Michigan.
There's one team in there.
Nebraska, number 6.
So you got to get to the 3. You got to get to the top 3.
Maybe 4.
That's why Nebraska. It's imperative that you start where you start, because otherwise, and I looked at the schedule. It's not crazy.
You think that now? We say that every offseason.
Yeah, I know, but it's not crazy. If you play good football, man,
that's been the challenge. That's been the challenge.
That's been the problem.
Playing good football consistently.
What did Jay say? They dookie down the leg. Yeah.
I mean, I just think you got to get out to a good start, man. And that's on anything. But you want to really when you're trying to rebuild something, you want to take that. I talk about PJ Fleck 2019 team.
Mm-hmm.
You get that. It doesn't
Year
matter.
0.
It doesn't matter how it looks. You get those W's. Never know what can happen.
Let's go ahead and take our break here at the top of the hour. Big thanks to the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese for their sponsorship of the show. Cubsker, we see your text on the text line. Lots more to get into in college football in the NFL draft when we get back to hour 2 of the show.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Get ready for the largest dirt late model event in Nebraska, race fans. The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is heading to Eagle Raceway's High Bank Heist on Thursday, May 15th through Saturday, May 17th. See the greatest dirt late model stars in the country compete for $10,000 to win on both Thursday and Friday, and an enormous $50,000 to win 75-lap main event on Saturday. The High Bank Heist, May 15th through May 17th at Eagle Raceway. For more info, visit eagleraceway.com. Let's go Lucas Oil Late Model Racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins'. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Picture this. You're in the doghouse and flowers just won't cut it this time. Enter jewelry, the ultimate peace offering. It's a gesture that speaks volumes, showing her you're willing to go the extra mile to make things right. So next time you're in the doghouse, remember, diamonds are a guy's best friend too. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best they can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. Tailored Landscapes is on the brink of spring cleanups for all their existing customers, and they have limited spots available. They trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give Tailored Landscapes a call at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of their designers and stop by the Tailored Life store in Bennett.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
It's never too late to start protecting your company's data from cyber attacks. Your customers put their trust in you to keep their information safe from online threats. Don't let them down. Partner with Hamilton Business Technologies to get real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and experts who monitor it all for you. We care about the success of your business and the communities you serve. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Connect with us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
You grew up on cereal for breakfast and you graduated into drinking coffee at some point as an adult. Now there's a place in Lincoln where you can stay caffeinated but eat like you used to. Control Coffee and Cereal Bar brings Saturday morning vibes to every day with locally roasted specialty coffees, Lotus energy drinks, and tons of breakfast cereals with toppings. And did we mention they have video games to play while you're there too? Control Coffee and Cereal Bar open 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the weekends at 15th and Pine Lake.
This is On the Block with Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer, Jay Foreman. Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Hour 2 of the show. Lots to get to as it relates to Husker football and the NFL draft. I'm Austin Norman. I got Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman alongside. They're running the show, talking their talk. We got Combat Sports, Dynasty Combat Sports tickets for you for this Saturday. First come, first serve. Want to watch Fight Night down at Pinnacle Bank Arena, 7:30. Let me know on the text line, 402-464-5685.
You ever been to one of those?
I have not.
Is it bare knuckle? What is it?
Is it bare
knuckle?
It's boxing.
Oh, just regular boxing.
Man, I went to some down at PBA. It was me and Steve Warren, man, and he was like, "Man, come down there." And I was like, "Man, this is." I'm I like UFC, but I was like, "All right, I'll go." And they introduced people and stuff, and there was some good fights and stuff. It's either really action packed or somebody puts you in like a triple neck ankle hold and they just hold, they just choke you out and you like tap out. So that's not really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just one match, and they were saying there's intermission, and then there was supposed to be a big match. But that one, it got kind of good, and the guy got caught, and he kind of, got tapped out. Intermission came. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be exciting. When got a drink too. And then this dude got introduced, and he was from like Omaha or he was from a smaller town. When I tell you my man just walked, he looked like he just got off work, drove down here, threw a couple. He had some starter basketball shorts on.
Not the starter.
Yeah, he did some black ones, and then he had the thing.
The ripper weight?
No, he had the
cup.
Yeah, the cup, the protector or whatever. And he walked out, had his gloves out. And strict. When I tell you my man didn't have no body definition.
None.
Hey.
Looking like me out there.
And was pale as all get. Walked out. And he had no fanfare. They just said his name. You know what I mean? He walked in there and just went to his corner.
Solo dolo.
Yeah.
He probably had his own cup water sitting there with his bucket.
Yeah.
And he did everything himself. No corner man, no cut man.
Yeah, Aquafina sat there. Next thing you know, the lights go down, music come on. This one dude came out with a mask, had a cameraman, music. It took him 5 minutes to get to the stage. Yeah. I was like, oh, this dude gonna kill this little dude. And then he came out, they doing the introduction, and he woofing and stuff. Man, they ding ding came out there. Dude went for a haymaker, dunked under. Wham! John Smith slept him. Out. I mean, it was like when Mike Tyson beat Spinks in it was less than 91 seconds.
Yeah.
When I tell you, me and Steve was there. I just had got the drink, looked up. Steve jumped up, spilled the drinks everywhere. And hey, Strick, I'll sit there like, what happened? You know what I mean? And they kept, literally got in there.
And you couldn't see the replay because it didn't have the replay.
Well, they had it on.
Oh, they did have it?
But Strick, it was like they got it, did a little thing. The dude tried to hit him, dunked it. Slept.
Oh.
9912 says he went to Dynasty Combat Sports up in Omaha, bare knuckle and regular MMA, and it was electric.
Yeah, they get it. Yeah, you get. Yeah, that's the thing about the UFC and MMA or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It is widened the pool of guys that could get after you if you I don't go to bars, but if you're at a bar or like you get into well, in this case, you can't even go to the airport, just anywhere.
Yeah.
You gonna just have some dude, he gets you on the ground. Next thing you know, he got your ankle all the way over here and put you to sleep. Because they know they can get, once they get you on the ground, they get you in that thing, you just done.
Night.
And who started this MMA stuff?
Let's see.
Who started because I know it was one of the Gracies, right?
The origins of MMA are complex and don't point to a single inventor. While early form of MMA existed in ancient cultures, the modern version has roots in Brazil with the Gracie family, who popularized Brazilian jiu-jitsu and challenge matches. UFC also played a major role in bringing MMA to the mainstream in the 90s.
I remember when the Gracies, when they'd fight, and it'd be like
Helio and Carlos Gracie.
When they would be fighting, they'd be fighting dudes like 300 pounds. They'd go in there, take a couple punches, and they get them on the ground and just choke them out.
Wow.
Wham, wham, wham.
Yeah. Get you in that little rear naked chokehold, you be asleep. Tap out.
Could not be me. Would not be me.
So they've widened it. They've widened these dudes because you always know who they are. They got the affliction shirts on. They ready to do something. So you might as well just think twice. Like, do I really want to? Yeah,
risk it all?
They want to wrestle.
Yeah, Yeah, they want to mix it up.
402-464-5685. 16 more tickets available for you to win for free. Tell us you want him. Head down, watch some Dynasty Combat Sports this Saturday. Fights start at 7:30. Doors open at 6:30. Well, fellas, we all predicted 3 Huskers would be drafted. Got 2 of them. Big Ty Robinson to the Eagles in the 4th round. Thomas Fidone in the 7th round to the New York Giants. Do we like those player and team fits?
I really like Ty to Philly. I think it's good because I think he goes into a winning organization. And then he doesn't have to be the day one starter, which I think he's more than capable. But I think you got some younger guys, and they got a really good defensive line coach. It's going to be tough on him, get the best out of him. And
good offensive line coach to get the most out of him.
Ty Robinson?
Yeah.
For what?
Well, battling against some really good offensive line.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But more importantly, that room is going to be good for him. with the Georgia guys, and plus,
Milton Williams.
Milton Williams left, but he can replace him. So it's a younger defense, and then also I think his skill set fits good with Vic Fangio, what he likes to do. I think Ty adds something that maybe Big Davis doesn't have. So if Ty really takes the next step, he'll be in there a lot with Carter. I think the power and
goodness.
The power and strength of Ty and the speed of him and with Carter allows him to do some stuff. So I think it's a great fit. And then with Fedoni, I think it's a good fit for him. Because you remember the Giants had the one tight end that was with the basketball player. He retired.
Darren Waller.
Yeah, he retired. And so they never really fixed it. Well, they couldn't. It was like right before training camp.
Yeah.
So even though Thomas is a 7th round pick, I think it's more maybe because of his injury history, but then also it's a chance to go in and really earn his stripes. Now I'm gonna tell you this, not so much for Ty, but Ty's willing to play on special teams. He will, they don't really want wedge blocking anymore, but Ty will play special teams. Thomas is gonna have to be really good on special teams because what guys don't understand is this. It's a lot like basketball, Strick. I talked to some kids that I know that play basketball, and they're kind of in that weird year where they think they want to be starters, but they want to go from not maybe being on varsity or not playing to starting on varsity. Whether they're going in their junior year. But what you have to do is do things well that most players don't have to do or won't do. And in basketball, that's guard full court, be the guy that maybe keeps the ball moving, get some run out layups, 50-50 balls, dive on the ground. In football, when you come in as a late round draft choice, listen, I know this. I do know this. I would never forget when John Hollislake told me, he said, man, you better get ready for the kickback league.
The kickback league?
Yeah, when you're playing punt team, you kick back and you block and run down and cover the punt because that's the most important when you come in as a late round draft choice.
Right.
And that's how you make the team. Once you make the team, you're just waiting on your opportunity. And you're actually can develop faster if you really attack it the right way. That's why I'm big on these guys that, or at least I don't know if the roster changed, the guys that, are red shirts. You can leapfrog and start coming out of your red shirt year if you attack it right. Because when I was in Buffalo, the late round draft or 5th round draft choice, we had our 2 starters. So I got every play on defense on the scout team. Every play. Didn't matter the front, the coverage, and however many reps. That's all essentially after the second game in the preseason. All year. Now I wasn't on the active roster at first, but I still got all those reps. And then they'd get, a couple reps here and there. And then work hard, change my body and all that. Well, here we are playing the Jets. I am active. You're
on the active roster.
Yeah, I can run down on kickoff. And it's my first game, playing. And so that's it. I know I was like, I got to do good on special teams. And he did all right. I don't remember. Well, Sam Rodgers, who had been starting in Buffalo forever, blew a tire. The dude that was supposed to go in was down getting it. Remember when they had breathe rights?
Yeah.
He running down on special. He worried about his breathe right. I was like, man, I got big nose. I got plenty of I hadn't broke
oxygen's flowing.
Yeah, I hadn't broke my nose yet, right? So I was like, cool. What somebody need to go in. And when you're an active roster, you're not having all your guys there. So I was active. Hey, I always was strapped up, ready to go in the game.
So you in there, you was ready.
And listen, they kept it. And Wade, it was a blessing because Wade always kept it real simple because he wanted you. So we ran cover 3 and all that, and all. And the other dude loved it because he was just blitzing the whole time. I was covering. But then I started making plays, and that's how it starts. But the foundation was special teams. So when you're either drafted late or a priority or a free agent, you're like some of those guys, you got to be a hellraiser on special teams.
Let's start in the AFC then for the undrafted free agents, Nash Hutmaker and Jamal Banks to Baltimore.
I think Nash really fits into their scheme. They had their big defensive tackle. Remember, you got the interception. He retired this year. He probably still was gasping air from that.
Nash Hutmacher, looking got a 2.0.
Yeah. And I think Nash is a little bit more athletic. And so I think that's a good fit for Nash, and it's going to come down to numbers. I know he'll play well in the preseason. And Banks, I think
he'll compete.
Yeah. He'll he can't run down on kickoff, right? But where Nash can really help is be sneaky athletic and play on defense, and then maybe be a goal line package guy with him and Ricard. And really, that's how they like to play. And then Banks, I think, I think on special teams he's got to find a role. But then I think, the big body like that, and make some plays, I think he has a chance too. I like him. I mean, I thought he was pretty consistent this year. And I think if he goes out there and do that and be physical, he can do it. And I think wide receivers are different because you could be on the practice squad a couple of years, and then next thing you go to a team and you playing like 8-9 years. Might just got carve a roll out.
Right.
Yeah.
Down in Tampa, Ben Scott signs a free agent deal with the Bucs, as does John Bullock, the Levante David replacement in a couple of years. Maybe,
bro.
We'll see.
Bruh. That's all.
I think it's the same for Bullock. I think Bullock, and what I mean by numbers, how many guys in that room and salary cap and all that. If it comes down to competition, like even Steven, he'll make the team or he'll make the practice squad because he hasn't played linebacker that long.
Right.
Well, number one,
because he just moved down from safety a couple of years ago.
Number one, I know he's tough. I know that for a fact. I know he wants it. I know that for a fact. He's made plays, and we already know he's willing to play special teams. So right then, as long as he gets a chance, it'll be that, and it might be where you have to be on practice squad for a little while. Not a bad place to be on practice squad in Tampa.
That's a fact.
Isaac Gifford to Carolina.
I like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Younger. You want to get to where you have a place or a chance to compete, or a young coach and young staff upstairs.
Yeah,
because they're looking for guys, and so I think it fits for Isaac.
How about this one then? Isaiah Nayer to San Francisco.
That's
an interesting one.
I actually like that as an opportunity.
I like it as a legit opportunity.
Yeah.
They saw him up close and personal at the East-West. Number two, they've had a ton of injuries at the wide receiver position. What's the name that they signed back last year? It was Brandon
Ayuk. Yep.
He's coming off an injury. So you say, okay.
Pearsall coming off an injury.
Debo
gone. Juwan Johnson.
Jennings.
And
then rest is up in the air. So get in where you fit in. Hey, 6'4", 200 something, whatever he
run like the wind.
Boy, you better be there. You listen. There better not be a gunner that blocks you on punt team.
Facts.
So that's where he could get in. I mean, people don't. I mean, as crazy as Antonio Brown is, he crazy, man. I know he like Kanye 2.0, but he was a special teams dude.
Yeah.
Until he got his opportunity, then rest is history.
One guy still waiting on his opportunity, Tommy Hill. Not drafted and still unsigned.
Is that the surprise for you, or is that an injury situation? Because I thought he had a better chance of getting drafted.
I think with him, it just. I know personally, from when I was in the pros, I'm gonna tell you like this is like the injury probably hurt him, and he plays a position that and you got bad foot or feet, and I think it's one of those things. Once he gets 100% healthy, whenever that is. His agent will be keeping it by your breast, and he'll get picked up. I think it's more or less a heal up time. He'll get a shot. He's got too much talent not to get a shot or shots. And the good thing for all these guys, whether it's Bryce Benhart, I don't think he's signed yet, right?
No, Bryce Benhart either.
Right? And MJ Sherman.
MJ.
Right? And obviously Tommy Hill. And if I'm missing anybody like that, the UFL is a great spot to land. You can go to Canada. We're seeing my man Yoshi.
He lives just down the street from my wife's uncle.
You're a good dude. Yeah, and you grew up with Soldier Boy talent. But I think there's more options versus when I came out, it was like NFL or bust. They had the NFL Europe for a little while, and then that went away. Now you got legit places to go.
Yeah,
with legit coaching. You ain't going to the XFL. What does it do? He hate me.
He hate me.
Yeah. So I think. Obviously these guys would like to get signed, but I think Tommy Hill is more. I don't know, but I would assume it's just because his injury isn't healed up yet.
We have just a couple minutes left here. We can probably make a full segment out of this sometime, but just initial thoughts, gut reaction. Who is the first Husker football player selected in next year's NFL draft?
Well, out of who? There's 150 guys over there.
I'm just saying. Who do you think of the draft eligible Huskers first off the board next year?
That's a tough one.
Well, I'm trying to think
who's
all on the
leaving?
team.
Who's a senior?
So here's some options.
Yeah,
on
give me
offense,
options.
On offense,
My gosh. Austin?
Dane Key, Elijah Pritchett, Rocco Spindler, Henry Lutovsky. On defense, Deshaun Singleton, Malcolm Hartzog, Sierra Wright, Andrew Marshall, Bly Hill, Desan McCullough, Cam Lenhart, Elijah Judy.
Oh, I say Pritchard. Hey, Pritchard.
Okay.
Hey, that's a big brother right there, man. That's a big dude, man. I mean, I'm talking about that's a big dude.
I think if Hartzog steps up, he might, maybe. Because he actually has shown flashes.
Yeah, he makes some plays.
But he has to go to another level, though. Like, it can't be make plays for 3 games and then you get burnt for 2 and then come make big plays. I think if he's consistent, I think he might have a chance. Because I think you can put him in the slot. You can also play him as a safety.
Safety, corner if you need to.
So
position
he has
play, special
versatility.
teams.
Yeah.
I'd probably say Pritchard just because linemen go. I mean, he's got to play well. I mean, it's an assumption everybody plays well. Big dudes get drafted. I mean, we've seen it this year. Them linemen, boy, it's a premium.
And see, that's why I think it's Rocco Spindler.
Well, he's a guard.
Yeah, maybe not a
Pritchard's
premium
a
pick.
tackle.
I know tackles go earlier. They always do, unless you're Quentin Nelson, essentially. But I think Spindler has good tape from Notre Dame, a dominant year at Nebraska,
Yeah, I
a
can
part
see
of a
it.
revamped line,
And
especially if he's on the same side as Pritchett, right? If those two are both on the right side, because Spindler's more comfortable at right guard, Pritchett came from playing a lot of right tackle at Alabama. If Nebraska can have a dependable right side of the line and those two guys are dominating, they're first off the board. It'd probably be Pritchett first, to be fair. But I have a little bit of hesitation with Pritchett. I'm not sure how ready he is. We'll see, right? But I think Spindler's more the finished product. I think that's a late day 2, early day 3 guy for Nebraska next year, right?
You know what really dictates all that, Austin?
Winning.
Good point.
That's it.
Good point.
You could they could be the same player and go 4-8 versus 8-4. And the dude that's on the 8-4 team going over 2 rounds higher.
That's a good point. Winning to take care of all that.
But yeah, I mean, the big dudes I think could go.
5284 is taking Desan McCullough, freak athlete, hybrid safety backer guy with speed. Nebraska's making him an edge. And I'm fascinated to see how that transition goes for him. Because I picture him as like Isaiah Simmons light, a guy that Nebraska was really interested in, ended up going to Clemson. Indiana used him kind of in the middle, and then where did he go after Indiana? Oklahoma, right?
I thought he was always at Oklahoma and then just went in the portal.
No,
McCullough?
Yeah, he started at Indiana.
Oh.
Yeah, he went from Indiana to Oklahoma. Now he's at Nebraska. And they moved him from essentially playing Javen Wright, Isaac Gifford's position down to a straight edge rusher.
Yeah, I mean, if he comes out and has 6 to 8 sacks, 6 on the low end, 8 sacks, rushing a passer, he's
gone.
Yeah, or I mean, pass rushers are at a premium. Yeah, I mean, the great thing about it is all these guys that we mentioned. We got 2 guys drafted this year. You could easily double that if they go from 6-6. At the worst case scenario, 8-4. You get up to 10 wins. It's going to be a free for all for guys that get drafted. It's going to be like the old days.
That's deep.
I'm telling you, man. When you look at it, I mean, they won winners.
Yeah.
I mean, West Virginia, I think I saw had 6 guys were drafted. 6.
Nick Saban was talking about trying to get that offensive lineman out of the portal every year, and then we never entered the portal.
Yeah. I mean, so
I
you
part
win.
out loud,
I mean,
Nick.
Yeah, I mean, there was guys from Indiana popping up.
Mhm.
Corners, defensive tackle quarterback got drafted.
Mhm.
And they still got some guys coming back. So I mean, and that's Indiana. Some of those guys are homegrown guys, so you can't say it's all transfer portal guys.
Right.
So it's all not all based on it, but a big part of it is winning. The reason why those UCLA guys, the 2 linebackers in particular, really start getting looks for the way that they start playing defense and start getting noticed in the winning the second half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Really opened some eyes. Now they're great athletes and they were really good players, but they really started to get some notoriety. They had 3 players drafted off defense.
Yeah.
3. 2, 49, and 20. That's their numbers. Not what I mean. They got an edge rusher, 2 stack backers.
Mm-hmm.
Because of winning.
Because of winning.
Yeah, I mean they
That's
looked.
simple.
Yeah, they started.
Mm-hmm.
I mean they beat us, and then they beat Washington, I think, and then they beat Iowa. They end up losing to USC, but those are big wins for them.
Mm-hmm.
Those are eye-opening wins for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Stricky, you brought this up. We're going to talk about it after break. Quinn Ewers slides to the 7th round, but who landed in a better position? Was it Quinn Ewers or was it Jalen Milroe? We'll talk about those two quarterbacks from the SEC and the NFL draft when we return to On the Block.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town. Big Brothers Big Sisters is bringing back Bowl for Kids' Sake. Create a team, raise donations, and join the bowling celebration at Sun Valley Lanes and Games on May 2nd. Every contribution helps to create and support one-to-one mentoring relationships for Lincoln's young people. Learn more and register today at bbbsmidlands.org under the Events tab. Big Brothers Big Sisters, igniting the power and promise of Lincoln's youth for over 50 years.
Fight fans, May 3rd, Dynasty Combat Sports hosts the first bare-knuckle boxing bout ever at Pinnacle Bank Arena, pitting Lincoln's Tower Robinson against McCook's Thomas Thatcher. Additionally, MMA bouts will see champion Nate Morrow battle Nebraska City's Brett Minner. University of Nebraska wrestler Tyler Berger makes his pro MMA debut, and Hunter Green takes on Husham Zadow for the amateur featherweight title. Also, professionals Brady Minner, Sean Lindgren, Justin Weaver, and the debut of another Nebraska wrestler, Bubba Wilson. 16 fights are scheduled Saturday, May 3rd at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Fight cards subject to change. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or at the Pinnacle Bank Arena box office.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Midwest Bank is now hiring in Lincoln. They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
You grew up on cereal for breakfast and you graduated into drinking coffee at some point as an adult. Now there's a place in Lincoln where you can stay caffeinated but eat like you used to. Control Coffee and Cereal Bar brings Saturday morning vibes to every day with locally roasted specialty coffees, Lotus energy drinks, and tons of breakfast cereals with toppings. And did we mention they have video games to play while you're there too? Control Coffee and Cereal Bar open 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the weekends at 15th and Pine Lake.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown's Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular priced athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Brown's carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown's Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of showers and storms mainly this afternoon. Otherwise, partly sunny and windy, the high around 87. Tonight, decreasing clouds, an overnight low near 46. Tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies with a light breeze, an afternoon high near 69. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
This is On the Block. You got the three of us here. You got blockheads chiming in on our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line. Appreciate y'all for your thoughts here. We'll keep getting back to you throughout the show. This segment brought to you by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. They're based out of Hallam. They offer a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty on everything while still finding ways to keep their prices affordable. Give them a call at 402-430-3852 or visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com to learn more. Stricky, your boy Quinn Ewers fumbled the bag big time. He declares for the NFL draft after a moderately successful college career statistically, a couple championship game appearances, but forgoes the NIL bag to get drafted in the 7th round. How about that?
So my thought on it is he kind of had to do that because you've already left Ohio State. You go to Texas. Everybody and their mama's pushing for Manning. They're like, it's time. You've taken us as far as you can take us. It's time to move over. He saved himself after some good games where he played bad, and then it was one of those things where Sarkisian couldn't really pull the trigger on him because then
you're winning.
It's one of those situations. So now, Jay said something a little bit earlier about him being SOFT. And those who are like that don't really like the competition part, especially as you get a little bit older. And so you would either have to downgrade, and after you play at that level and after you've been the championship, college football championship series, and you don't want to go back. Like, he could have went back and still got some good NIL money and went somewhere else and probably could have.
Well, he and Carson Beck could have made the same decision.
Could have not had to maybe compete as hard, but you probably was going to go somewhere where you weren't going to get back to that level. And after you got a taste of that, ooh, that's some good Wagyu. As I'm staying in line. See, I don't understand. Strict staying in line with what Jay was talking about her. You get some of that good Wagyu beef and you go back and get that Panda Express Beijing beef. You know what I'm saying?
Jay and I are broccoli beef guys.
There's a difference. There's a difference between that Wagyu and that Beijing beef. I'm just saying.
Yeah, obviously hindsight's 2020. I mean, heck, you can even say the same thing for Shedeur Sanders. You could have just said, hey, you know what? I'm going to eliminate all the nonsense and go play for somebody else. And so you guys can't use that as an excuse. But for the amount of money that potentially was out there for Quinn Ewers, it's a catastrophic mistake because you could have supposedly went to Oregon. So if you can go to Oregon, you potentially probably could have went to USC, right? Because I'm sure Lincoln Riley would have rather liked the quarterback that's already established, right? Mm-hmm. And you would have had to, and if you would have had to leave Texas, that's fine. But you could have went. I'm sure he could have went to another blue blood. Heck, he might even. I mean, I don't think Washington is at the same level as Texas blue blood, but you could have probably went there. They took Will Rogers last year.
Yeah,
and Jed Fish is a heck of a coach and a quarterback coach and offensive mind. And you could have got some NIL money, a lot more than what you getting potentially as a 7th round pick. So that sucks for him. I think he did some things that were really good. I think he had a couple games that when they played Georgia. Here's what they use against him. Well, when he played against Georgia, he didn't play well. Did you see all the guys that went first round of Georgia? Did you see all the guys on a down year defensively in Georgia that got drafted?
Mm-hmm.
You ain't doing tilly poo against them without a running attack, and they weren't running the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, he saw the writing on the wall, and I think it was an impulsive move because he knew Arch was coming. They have to play Arch. It's kind of almost like this. You want to know what the equivalent is? When I got drafted to Buffalo, we had my man Flutie Flakes, Doug Flutie. And he'd been balling. And they reluctantly gave him a new contract. When I tell you that when the owner jumped out of this is why we didn't go to the Super Bowl. No, I'm not saying that because I like Rob. I think the timing of it was bad. We played the Indianapolis Colts, last game of the regular season. Everybody, all the scrubs played, including myself. And Rob played and Peyton and all those guys on the sideline. We beat the brakes off of the Colts. Colts had already locked up the AFC East week 10. And Rob, and then we were struggling a little bit offensively, a little bit of static, but that happens. But we were still winning. And Rob lit it up. They put him in there and changed the momentum of the team. I think if we would have had 2 weeks, we would have been fine. But you're taking Rob didn't really play all year, but he was getting paid a lot of money, so the owner wanted to start him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it threw off the whole momentum that we had because Doug Flutie had won 10 games that year.
Yeah,
and that's what Quinn was looking at. Now, if I was Quinn, I would have really measured out everything, and this is what his agent should have done because I'm sure it's the same agent he would have had in NIL. Is say, okay, this is the best case scenario in the NFL, which when you think of it, his best case scenario was going to be the fourth best quarterback, and that's against Jalen Milroe,
who got drafted in the 3rd round.
Right.
Which, talk about a blow up. I did not see Jalen Milroe as a 3rd rounder at quarterback, but Seattle's an interesting spot for him.
Surprise.
Yeah, because he could do the Russell Wilson. Look, I said it. Jalen Milroe, deep passes, he's probably the most accurate guy in the draft. Intermediate, he's horrible. But the thing that he can do is run like a 4.3 at 220 pounds. And every coach up in the league, they've seen it. We've seen it with Josh Allen can improve accuracy, but it's a really good position to be in considering Sam Darnold's a starting quarterback. Thank you. Right? You can even take a year and chill and then play, and you getting paid because you throw around, for year 4. So
yeah,
it's a great opportunity for him. Again, that's another guy. If you're thinking apples to apples, the type of quarterbacks that you're seeing, I always look at it like Sam Darnold's your type of quarterback that you paid a ton of money, $50 million to sign or something. Well, then you would think your backup needs to be like that.
You would think.
Okay, so then you bypass Shedeur Sanders to get somebody totally different that is a less skilled passer, and you wanted a skilled passer.
It's the Colts route in reverse. They took the raw athlete and then signed the
more polished
pocket
passer.
Pocket passer.
Yeah. Here's the bigger question here, since we getting up.
My question before we get to your question: who sees the field first, if either Ewers or Milroe? See, I think it's Ewers behind Tua. He's one wrong hit away.
Yeah, he's sleep prone.
Oh,
yeah. I think it's Ewers.
That's a good point there. I didn't even think about that.
I got a bigger question though.
Okay.
Who the hell playing quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I have no clue.
Dog. Hey, I love Mike. Listen,
me.
I love Mike Tomlin. I think he's a great coach.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Hey, when prime, hey baby, this is prime season. Oh, I gotta check your card, player. Oh yeah, I gotta check your card because here's why. Now, and you don't owe him any favors, but that's a really good spot for Shedeur.
A good spot for you and Shedeur.
Yeah, well, but it's a really good spot for Shedeur in Pittsburgh, off the beaten path. Respect. They'll keep him at. They ain't dealing
Tomlin's
with that. Tomlin,
yeah.
But you know who used to always go to bat for Tomlin? When everybody was mad, like this dude going 9-8, and you just getting winning seasons. When they prime time, baby. You know, and you trying to tell me you couldn't? Them and the Raiders. I'm calling Tom Brady. I said, listen, man, I thought you was part owner. You took 2 project offense, 2 dudes that ain't got a chance to play in the league. And you rolling with Geno?
That part.
Matter of fact, Geno's made a resurrection of his career. Geno can do right by mentoring Shador.
But not anymore.
Yeah, Tommy.
Instead, they take Tommy Mellott from Montana State, who they say is an off-the-charts athlete playing quarterback, and then Cam Miller, run-first quarterback from North Dakota State.
No, he ain't. No, he ain't.
I'm just saying what they say. I did not say that's what I say.
That's Chip Kelly Chip Kelly, listen, I like Chip Kelly. As a play caller. He did a good job in the playoffs. Man, you need to say that stuff, man. That is not working. That RPO stuff, you're going to get somebody killed doing that. These little
Chip Kelly don't care.
Listen, man, you drafted 2 quarterbacks. Who you think you fooling? Like, seriously, you think you're going to go up to the league and RPO to something? You're going to get, I'm telling you, somebody's going to get put to sleep. Them 2 little dudes are going to get put to sleep. Now, I like the North Dakota State quarterback because when he played Colorado, he balled out.
He did.
But all the points were because of running. The Montana State dude, I saw his highlight looked like he in slow motion. He ain't even cocked the head back. When he didn't
do the Michael Johnson?
The band is playing in half speed instead of double speed.
Yeah. You know what he's gonna do? He drafted that big defense line from Mississippi that used to run the
Pegues.
The kind of hike it to the big man. They run power, bro. This is the thing that you have to understand when you come to the league. These are the biggest humans and the fastest humans you will ever see in your life. Big dudes get more hype about doing little dude stuff because they know they got the power. You ain't outrunning nobody in the league.
Yeah, you seen big 300-pound backtracking and going and chasing somebody down.
Quick.
Yeah.
Like they're all people always
windows close so fast there, bro. Like
the windows ain't open. They just crack.
They just crack. Yeah.
The only time you see a big play in the league is a busted coverage, and that's either communication or just somebody wasn't paying attention, or you just somebody makes it in the front the front 7. Somebody goes the wrong way and makes a mistake or gets blown up. You just ain't running out. It's just not happening. You ain't right. You're not taking the ball and running to the sideline, hitting the sideline, and riding out.
That was over in high school.
Because you know what's going to happen? You're going to get a dude that used to play at Philly this year that's down with the Texans, Gardner Johnson. That dude ain't nothing but 185, 190. He blows cats up.
Cubsker says, hey, if the Steelers can go 10-6 with Duck Hodges, they can go 10-7 with Will Howard or Mason Rudolph.
They did get I like Will Howard. Did they get him?
They got Will Howard.
He's gonna be starting if they keep it. If they bring an Aaron in there for a year or 2, he's gonna end up starting it. Tom will be gone by then.
Out of there? Really?
Dang.
Terry Bradshaw want him fired. Terry Bradshaw like Eric Mays when Eric Mays is up in Detroit at the.
But does he? You don't have no clout like that with the.
Terry won Super Bowls for him. He got clout.
Well, Jerry West then had clout, but got kicked out of his seat.
That's on the Lakers. That's not on
Terry
Jerry.
Bradshaw. Terry Bradshaw's on Fox Sport. He be killing Tomlin. He said, "You ain't a good coach. You a good motivator." That's old Red McCone stuff. You could be D coordinator. With Charlie Strong was a head coach.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, he'd be a good D coordinator. You ain't no head coach. Hey, let me get my donation check back.
So, are we assuming Will Howard is the starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers in Week 1?
The only thing that makes sense, because Pittsburgh's had a good offseason. They had a decent draft. I think it's a little bit.
Is it enough to move the needle to get over Baltimore? And
the only way it is if you're Aaron Rodgers playing quarterback.
That's what I think too. And that's crazy to think about after what happened with the Jets.
But exactly.
Yeah.
Steelers draft.
He's one Myles Garrett crash out to being asleep. Imagine if you make Myles Garrett sleep, man. Hum with the helmet.
With the helmet.
The Steelers' first 5 picks: Derek Harmon from Oregon, Caleb Johnson from Iowa, Jack Sawyer from Ohio State,
I like that running back pick.
And Will Howard.
Yaya. What a name.
It's gonna sink. That draft class is gonna sink or swim based on if that defensive tackle is good.
Pretty crazy story. He got drafted, went to the hospital, and his mom passed away like as soon as he got to the hospital after short celebration of telling her that he got drafted.
Yeah, she was fighting cancer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but at least she got to hear it.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful part. At least she got to hear it.
Yeah. That's tough, man.
That's tough.
But
it could be a motivating factor though that really sets you on a laser focus.
Yeah.
Or it's crazy how that can work. Those dynamics can work one of two ways. It can either set you on a laser focus because you've got a purpose in it, or you go into a shell and those depressive states, and you carry it with you, and that burden gets heavy. And it's unfortunate that it can go one of two ways.
It'd be like, remember Tack McKinley?
I don't remember.
Which part of Tack McKinley?
When he got drafted.
I
He
do
had
not
the
remember.
most epic. As a matter of fact, Deion Sanders, this is how Tack McKinley's still in the league, so this is recent. Deion Sanders was working for NFL Network.
Yeah.
And interviewed him after the draft. It was epic. He came out there with the picture of his
Oh,
grandma.
yeah, with his grandma. That's right.
He said,
Yeah.
I think I remember. Okay.
Yeah. I'll show you during break.
I'm going to sack the quarterback. He was talking in the third. I'm going to sack the quarterback.
Epic.
Oakland's finest. You guess where he played?
Went to UCLA.
UCLA. He's the dude, I think, one of the fan ran on the field. He blew the fan up this year. Or one of the last couple of years.
That would not surprise me.
Tack McKinley is about that business.
Is he standing on business or just about it?
He's standing hard on business.
10 toes down?
Quarterback.
Yeah. Did you see the video?
I didn't see it.
We can't play it on air.
We'll pull it up during break. One final segment for On the Block for a Monday right after this.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today. At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
You don't have to cross your fingers when digging into the ground this spring. Start every project with a call to Nebraska 811 so utilities like LES can mark their buried lines and you can avoid injury and power outages.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
It's never too late to start protecting your company's data from cyber attacks. Your customers put their trust in you to keep their information safe from online threats. Don't let them down. Partner with Hamilton Business Technologies to get real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and experts who monitor it all for you. We care about the success of your business and the communities you serve. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Connect with us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at cobblecars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G187747, and G196599.
Your new Total Wine in Lincoln has the largest selection of wines, spirits, and beers, plus totally low prices and friendly service from our helpful guides. With over 8,000 wines, 4,500 spirits, and 2,500 beers, you're sure to find your favorites and something new. You can even order delivery, in-store, or curbside pickup. Find what you love what you find, only at Total Wine and More. Now open in Lincoln next to Gateway Mall.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Cinco de Mayo is May 5th, but the party starts early this year at Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina with their street festival on Saturday, May 3rd. Come down to 8th and Q starting at 1 p.m. on May 3rd and see llamas from Sweet and Sassy's Llama Farm until 4 p.m. and enjoy face painting and balloon animals with Miss Shades at 2 p.m. DJ Wyatt will entertain from 6 to 10:30 p.m. There will be drinks, food, and giveaways, and best of all, no cover charge. It's the early Cinco de Mayo Street Festival with Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, Saturday, May 3rd, beginning at 1 p.m. at 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
Yesterday, your water heater worked just fine. Today, surprise! When you're out of hot water, just call the plumbers at Bryant. In most cases, you can get same-day water heater replacement. What you won't get is a costly surprise with the bill. At Bryant, the price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. No last-minute extras for piping or ventilation alterations. Need a new water heater? Just call Bryant, 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
One final segment for the day here during On the Block. Austin Orman, Jay Foreman, Eric Strickland with you. This final segment brought to you by Love Volleyball Omaha. Get or renew your season tickets today at LOVVOMA.com. Fellas, is Bill Belichick okay? Do we need to send out like a rescue team for the head coach of the Tar Heels? Like normally I wouldn't. No, we know where he is. But like, is Bill okay? I struggle to even ask that about a Tar Heel, but I'm actually kind of worried for the guy after what we saw yesterday. That's not good.
I can't speak too heavily on it because I still need to do the replay just to really dig in and decipher what I saw. So it is, there's harsh realities out there by the differences in the understanding of the times. Let me just say that.
Man, I don't know. I mean, you know, the thing is,
it's hard out here for.
The interview is one thing because they could break it up and make it look, you know, edit it and make it look bad.
Yeah.
But I think the involvement is more on brand of what people said, because then she sent out some emails that, or like took all the, like, you can't question him on.
Well, one of them that she sent was, we have to make sure that we refer to Steve Belichick as his own person, kind of downplay Bill's involvement in his career, make him sound like his own person.
Yeah,
so it's not like nepotism and little like stuff like that.
I mean, which is, you know, what you want to. I mean, I guess if it was coming from Bill, then people wouldn't really care. But I mean, I like that. Look, you know, want to highlight his son and say his son's done it because he was a D coordinator at Washington before. I mean, obviously all of his sons work with him up in New England. So I just think, look, man, when you know, there's a 50-year age difference. So I think that just probably, you know, put up people's spider senses. The interview was, you know, not normal Bill Belichick. I mean, any interview with Bill Belichick is not very exciting. And for him, kind of jumping out the way he is, then whatever. But like he said, what? As long as he's cool with it, then everybody else got to be cool with it. But it didn't. It looked weird though. It didn't look bit like. It looked. Here's why it was so different.
Bill, blink 3 times if you're being held hostage.
Yeah, tap your
Wait,
foot.
what was that
More
movie?
stuff.
What was that movie where the lady kept him up in the thing, tied up,
and he hit his feet,
and was tearing the feet up so he couldn't
what was
walk?
that called?
Misery.
Misery. When you beat him and beat his feet.
He's not a movie buff. He's not a movie buff. Misery. Yeah. Hey, blink twice if you're having misery.
I think Bill Belichick has always been in control,
and now he's not.
And now he is not. And so that's where I think people are like, this dude controlled every media chance. I mean, he didn't even talk glowingly about Tom Brady.
Right.
And that was to control the media. And now it feels this is the most interviews I think he's done.
Outside of ones that he actually had to do.
Yeah. In his whole career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's what college does for you. That's the difference. Talk about real quick. Break that, because that's the difference between being a collegiate coach and an NFL coach. You got to be more. You got to be more available and out there and networking and touching and no pause, no nasty touching, but you got to be bumping arms, rubbing elbows, smoozing with the boosters. Yeah, man, it's a whole different game.
I mean, I think that's one of the first places you saw him after he got the job was he was at a donor event, so it's a lot drastically different. I'm sure she's helping him with it, and she's controlling the football team's social media, right? Where you
think so.
Any negative comments are gone.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt he even looks at it.
Right.
I envision him. He just doing the same, watching
Coaching.
football. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think once the season gets started, that'll lessen. But the interview was a little weird.
Also a little weird. No foul call at the end of Knicks Pistons.
Was that a foul?
Tim Hardaway Jr. got tackled.
The refs said that they missed that one. That's the part I hate.
Yeah,
don't come to me after the fact talking about you missed. You saw it.
Did Aaron Gordon get the dunk off though?
It looked like it, right?
It looked like it to me.
I couldn't tell.
I couldn't. Yeah,
that was real quick.
Yeah,
I know you hyped though that LeBron and them lost.
I knew. See, I ain't even say nothing.
But that's
I
why
didn't
you're so
say
excited.
nothing.
Austin even said, man, the way you walked in here when you saw me, you was like, yeah, I got him today. Because LeBron lost.
Did I even say that to all? Normally, if I'm going to come sideways at you and throw a
you do warn me.
If I'm going to throw a little shank on, I talked to Austin about the shank, but I didn't even, I kept it.
How about the Lakers playing their 5 players the entire second half?
That's wild.
The entire second half.
But that I can understand that because you're saying, listen,
they had a
these are the guys I can trust,
and they don't.
They still needed to.
That was an emotional.
Give a 2-minute break.
Dumb. But that's young coach saying, I can only trust this group.
Hayes is unplayable.
So that's what I'm saying. So you're figuring to yourself, this is a must win. I got to go with what I know, but what you should have did in building it, once you built it, you should have trickled in. Because you had a 10-plus point lead. You should have trickled in some guys, got a couple of minutes, take a deep breath, and then try to finish it off. Listen, LeBron's 40, Luka's Luka, and the rest of the guys, that's tough. You got to do Ant-Man, young legs? Young legs? Daniels, young legs? Nas Reed getting a break, come in.
Julius Randle coming.
You got big fella up there banging. He had like almost 11 offensive rebounds.
Julius Randle was hitting?
Well, he was guard. He was starting to look like himself at the end of the game.
But he was hitting early.
Mm-hmm. It's tough. The toughest matchup for them is definitely Nas Reed and Julius Randle.
Like we said going into
that's the toughest.
we told him.
Did you see how hype he was right
Hype Man Productions.
I'm just saying.
That's a catastrophic mistake by JJ.
Yeah.
Because LeBron and Luka are good enough like ball handlers and control it that you could say, hey, in real time, it'd probably like 2 minutes in the NBA game is equivalent to 6 minutes. Like,
especially if you time it with the TV timeout or something.
And you could have switched off.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, yeah, because you didn't score no points, no how.
Yeah, yeah.
LeBron was 0 in the fourth quarter.
Grizzlies have a problem. which they're going to have to address. They're going to have to make decisions. Rockets are looking like OKC last year. Cavs is giving the Heat the hum, and not the. Let me be quiet. Pacers, is it a surprise?
No, it is not a surprise. Also, R.I.P. Dame Lillard's career. It's over.
Done.
Yeah, we have a conversation about that on Wednesday.
Magic.
You think he's over?
Yes. 35 and tearing your Achilles.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what Dominique Wilkins is?
Dame ain't Dominique. I love me some Dame. He's not Dominique.
Technology's better. I just don't
He's
know.
coming back like Return of the Jedi.
Same thing happened to Kobe when he was that old. Kobe's better than Dame. Kobe can come back from it. What makes you think Dame will?
Because he's standing on business.
I hope so.
He's an awful.
Bucks are in trouble, though. So
Your Magic tricked it off.
They sure did.
They had an opportunity, but Porzingis came back once again. Porzingis comes out the
unicorn.
That's your boy.
Let's get out of here. Old School comes your way in a minute. 1 hour of On the Block tomorrow.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.